welcome to the Veloci Race Review. I'm Aaron McNanny.
And I'm Pat Brown. Today we're going to be going over the Burly Meril Fat Bike Race.
So this is our first time coming back into the 2018 season. We wrapped up a great time in 2017 doing several of these for specifically, a lot of cyclocross races, a lot of road races. This is actually our first mountain bike race, so that's fun. This was in the spirit of honesty, so we actually were promoters in this race. VE Productions put it on, so it was a great event overall, but now we're going to kind of talk through this.
Yeah, so this was the Category 2 men's. I actually rode this race. Really fun course. I was definitely out of my element though, coming from like a more road background. I've done a little bit of mountain biking, not really much racing, so this was something that was totally different from me, but I knew since most of the course is single track, the starting is definitely key. So I saw this guy was coming up on my right, and I didn't want to be leading the pack being it was my first race, and so I kind of just snuck right behind him and try to stay upright.
And obviously, like we said, it's a fat bike race, so totally different race dynamics. I mean, even the skill that's required to climb and to navigate some of this stuff, I mean, it's totally different. I mean, you have the bike handles differently, the turf feels different.
So if you check out the I stop here. If you check out some of the post-race interviews, you really got the feeling that people were running super low tire pressures. One, because of the volume of their tires are so big, which allows for a lot of deformity to for you not to have to worry about like a pinch flat or something like that. So a lot of people were running 4 psi, and I have no idea what I was running, but I don't think it was quite that low. And I think that I definitely suffered because of it. Because a lot of other people were making corners a little bit faster because they had a little bit more grip. And here, grip was so important.
Yeah, certainly the climbs were very difficult. I mean, there were some sections that, you could tell there was a lot of effort made to groom all the sections.
Oh, for sure.
But still, because of how steep you get that avalanche effect where as you put a certain part of your bicycle mass up the hill, it wants to pull you back down because of all that snow.
Yeah.
I think that the trail had maybe, honestly, probably 10 inches of snowpack, so there was a solid foundation. How did you feel about the actual single track? I mean, honestly, or rather obviously, there's only about a foot or two. Did you kind of get some of that tightrope feeling where you felt like you had to stick to a certain tire tread, or did you feel like you could move around easily?
So this was the second race of the day, so there were some wear marks where I knew where people were going kind of off the trail, but I really did have that feeling of, okay, I need to stay right in the center or else I'm going to kind of lose a lot of traction. And so you'll see whenever I stop, it's not because it wasn't because of anything besides that my front tire went off that 1 foot section that I could handle, and then once it went off, there is no way really to get it back on besides stopping and lifting it up and moving, because once you get into that deep snow on the edge, you get stopped in your tracks.
Yeah. So here's that beautiful mountain laurel patch that I just love. You're in first place here?
Yeah, so I'm in first place here. I'm having issues going around this turn.
Yeah.
At this point, I hadn't figured out that you really need to stay either on the inside or right on the center. You can't push the outside edge.
Otherwise you fall off.
Otherwise you fall off and so easily. And so I'm probably about halfway through this lap or so, I kind of figure out that no matter what, I need to, even if I slip out on the inside, that's better than slipping out on the outside.
Because you can carry your momentum back up onto the patch.
And so you see here, there's another rider. I'd fallen down a few times, and he said, "Oh, let me come past." And so I got off to the side and let him pass because I knew he was handling the course a little bit better. So this is the end of my first lap of 2 laps. I suffered a lot during this race. I definitely put on, I'm not in great fitness. It's just the start of the season, and so I just put on way too much clothes because I wasn't sure. It was a really nice afternoon, but I just put on way too much clothes for, racing at that high of an intensity. You can see my heart rate is still
You were
up
at
170.
185 when you came in there.
Yeah, going through the data, I actually averaged, I believe, 182 or so beats per minute. That's average for the full hour and a half race. So I definitely suffered, but I'm so glad that that I was able to do the race and that I really pushed through.
So talk me through some of the sections. Like what periods did you feel were really challenging you technically, and then what sections were just fun to ride?
I mean, a lot of it was fun to ride. What was different was there were a lot of little bumps, especially on the uphills. For most of it, well, that's basically due to people running it, and which that happens. I actually ended up, after the first few uphill sections, I don't think you see it on the video, just because we cut out a lot. But I ran most of the uphills because I felt that was more efficient for me than trying to maintain 360 degrees on the pedals, keeping it even.
Style.
Yeah, and I just, at this point in the season, I wasn't ready to be going full gas and then have to try to focus on that. So I took a little bit extra time going up the climbs.
This section right here, this is called Starting Loop. One of my favorite trails in the park to ride. Really fun.
Yeah, this is really fast. This is actually where I think I made up a good amount of time. I mean, once you get past a few of these little kind of uphill switchback kind of deals, there's a really fast, long, relatively straight section that I felt like I could really put down the power, and I'm not a technical rider by any means, but you can see here
picking up some speed.
This is pretty straight. Yeah, I'm getting up to 11 miles an hour, which on the snow was pretty fast, and this was where I felt I could really put down some power, which in the beginning section it was difficult to put down the power because there were some switchbacks that I really needed to take my time going around, or else I was too worried that I would lose traction, which kind of limited me a little bit. But I think that's really where the guy in front of me made up time. Where now you can see I'm catching up to him because I guess the second half, a lot of it was, I think, a little bit more flowy, and less technical, which definitely benefited my motor and how I ride.
Do you think it would have been possible to ride this on like a 2-inch mountain bike, cross-country mountain bike?
I think it would have been possible, but I don't think it would have been a lot of fun because even this was very difficult for me.
That's something that a lot of fat bike riders will talk about is, where does fat biking fit into the mountain biking discipline? I mean, in a lot of ways, people are purchasing fat bikes and they're just riding like typical mountain bike trails. They're riding it in the summer. They're riding basically the same types of trails that a cross-country mountain biker or a trail mountain biker is riding. And I think that there's a desire to kind of create this new category within mountain biking of courses and trails that are really only rideable by a fat bike. Because that sort of gives a reason for fat bikes, right? Because, I mean, if you can ride it on a cross-country mountain bike, what's the point of fat bikes?
Yeah.
And in my mind, this was a good example of a course that, I mean, the fat bike is the most suitable bike for this course. I mean, you could possibly, like you're saying, I think maybe someone could, rough it on a 2.3-inch tire, or even a plus-size tire, like a 3-inch tire. But really, it's going to be the fat bikes that are dominating on a course like this.
Yeah. So this is the second loop of the course, and so I know I'm prepared. I know what's coming up next. I just caught up and passed that guy. He's right on my wheel now. We had a little bit of banter going around that play set. How you feeling? What, do you ride other disciplines? But I knew at this point, because this is, I can put down some power here, I knew I need to attack him and make gap. And once he can't see me going around a few corners, then I'll be able to extend it a little bit more, because during the whole race, I was on my limit. And I knew if it came down to the finish, this guy, this guy might have a little bit better kick
Yeah.
than I had. So I was definitely thinking, okay, I don't want to go so hard that I'll be going slower at the end, but I want to put in just enough effort that'll deter him from trying to stay on my wheel.
So I noticed we don't currently have time up on the as a metric on here, but what was your total race time?
So it was an hour and a half, a few seconds, give or take.
It's a solid race.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. This is coming in right into the finish now. And this was a place where I could definitely, you can either put down power or you could just coast, because it was a little bit downhill. It was wide open. And at this point, I mean, you can see my heart rate. I'm on the limit.
Yeah, jeez. It's a long time to be camped out at 185.
Yeah. And so I know coming into this section, basically you take a left. It's this nice flowy section. I remember actually at this point, I was having some issues with getting clipped in from when I would run different sections, or if I came off the trail. Some snow got in my cleat, and so I was having trouble getting in. But this section here, you need to be able to pump, and you can put some power down here.
A lot of beautiful landscapes, though.
Oh,
honestly, coming in over the lake. There's some fielded sections, like I said, those mountain laurel sections. I mean, it's pretty cool when you spend most of your year racing, you know, either on the roads or on dirt, on rock, to be in like this was like a winter wonderland. Yeah.
Oh, it was beautiful the whole time. I wish I wasn't. Well, I enjoyed suffering, but I think if I did category 3, I would just take my time and take in the views. Because really, it was beautiful, especially this section.
Sandbagging.
Yeah.
That's what we call it.
And so this is coming into the finish. I know I have some sort of gap, but I didn't really want to look behind me, just because if I deviate my front wheel at all, I know I'm going to basically get stopped in my tracks. So this is coming right into the finish, and I'm just hoping he's not right on my wheel.
185 beats per minute. You're really coming in fast, 11 miles per hour on the flat. And I'm assuming, you know, as you come out into the road, maybe at that point you look behind you.
Yeah, so when I came out, it was a little bit technical to get out onto the road because there was a little bit of a snowbank. But at this point, you see I'm trying to kick a little bit just in case he's right behind me.
Yep.
Maybe to have a little bit of a gap, so then I'll be able to look behind me. And at this point, I do look behind me, and I'm able to kind of take it in easy.
So overall, great performance, great race. You know, had a little bit of competition in there, but you were able to pull through it. I think in a mountain bike race, you're usually confronted with this balance of either you have a lot of skill and not as much fitness, or you really excel in putting out power, but maybe your fitness isn't as good. So you were able to balance those pretty well. You have good skill, and maybe just got to get the fitness up for the racing season.
Yeah, it's early yet, so I'm hoping I'll be able to.
Well, thanks for joining us for our first Veloci race review of 2018. We've got more to come. A couple of races coming up in March and April that we're looking to cover, and we've got a huge season in front of us. So we look forward to seeing you more on here. I'm Aaron McNanny.
And I'm Pat Brown. We'll catch you next time.